Object.
Hey guys, it's Debbie, and if you're new, hi. On this channel we talk about law, talk about like spirituality stuff, and just whatever we want to. So today we're going to be talking about the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case. Someone leaked the deposition of Eric George on Twitter. I didn't leak this, so don't come for me. Someone else did, but yeah, so I read the whole thing. I actually did the voiceover, tried to make a video on it, and I had about 5 hours of footage, and then I just thought about it. But you know what? A lot of this is just people going like, I object, and then I object. So it was kind of redundant, so I figured I would just kind of summarize it for you this time. Trust me, it's for the best. Let's get right into it. And one update is that Amber Heard and her lawyers obviously are going to be able to continue with the motion to dismiss based on the UK judgment. However, the judge did say that if you waste the court's time, we will award sanctions against you. So, and she also did say that it's likely futile. Right away, we know that the odds are not good for the case to get thrown out. Slim to none. I'm banking on probably none, but we'll see. Let's get into like the deposition as well. One thing I noticed right away is that it seemed like Hoft, which is Amber Heard's lawyer, and I forget his name, Eric George's lawyer, it seemed a lot like they were in cahoots, which is interesting to me because the whole reason why he's getting deposed is because Amber is using the defense of counsel defense, meaning she is calling into question his legal advice. She's saying that that's the reason why she made the op-ed, because he could have potentially given her bad legal advice. So I thought it was strange that they would be working together, or at least that's the impression that I got, because to me that seems like a conflict of interest, I would think, because if things hit the fan, then they're going to be on separate sides. So I did notice a lot of them mirroring what each other would say. They would always object almost constantly together, and a lot of times, yeah, like if Hoft objected, then there was a couple times where Eric George's lawyer would say, you've been instructed, and it came across as Hoft was giving instructions to Eric George of what not to say, which I find really odd. So that's weird. So Hoft, she deposed him first, and there was very little to no objections at that point from his lawyer, and basically she was just showing him things, which apparently is a way to admit things into evidence, which Chu did call her out for. She was playing a little bit dirty there, and she was just reading emails, and one email that I think was the most important, that is just kind of blew my mind. It's not enough context that I would say it's necessarily a smoking gun, but it's definitely a red flag, and it could potentially lead to further discovery from if the judge allows it, which hopefully they will. It was an email exchange where he said, which too directly raises the issue of the allegations about what you're lying about. And I'll put the deposition here on the side. Take a few minutes. I've highlighted the parts that I think are relevant, and I'll just kind of let it play here for you to read. I feel like Vanna White. Do 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 do. So very interesting. So I'm just very curious as to why he said that. The phrase "what you're lying about" to me implies that there was a lie that happened. So I'm very interested to know what that's all about. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a smoking gun, but it definitely is a red flag. It's definitely something that would get people's minds turning and wondering, what is this lie that is being referenced? I mean, I have an idea, but we'll see. So back to the question that I had. I was very weirded out of why it would appear that Amber Heard's lawyer and Eric George's lawyer would be kind of in cahoots, because Amber's essentially trying to infer that she potentially received bad legal advice. So why are they working together? The only thing that I thought of, which is my opinion, is that if Amber Heard goes down, then maybe he goes down with her. Especially since, you know, the email that I pointed out to you about the lie. Especially if, allegedly, if Amber Heard was making this all up and he was complicit in it, which the email says a lie. So if you are to investigate that further and it turns out that Amber Heard was lying and that her lawyer Eric George knew about it, that could have a negative outcome on his reputation. Who knows, there could be repercussions. Maybe as a lawyer he could face some kind of consequence. I don't know. Could be more so that idea of if she goes down, I go down with her. Potentially, I don't know, but I just found it really odd. And I did notice in the questioning of Bredehoft, it seemed to me like they are kind of setting the stage for, if in their worst case scenario, if Amber Heard loses, I think they're trying to set it up in a way where she can try to kind of split the liability between herself, ACLU, and Eric George. I think that's kind of what they're thinking. I don't know. Maybe I'm the psychic paralegal, I don't know. So I think it's potentially a contingency plan in the event that she does lose the case. Then she will be able to, ideally to her, share that liability between them as well. So let's say if that worst case scenario for Amber anyway ends up happening and she loses and she wants to go after them, I'm not quite sure what that would look like. Sometimes a person would have to bring up a separate case where Amber would maybe have to sue them in a different matter. Say the Johnny Depp and that would be like one thing, and then maybe she would have to sue them separately in a different case. I'm not quite sure, but I think sometimes it does happen like that. I definitely got the vibe that Bredehoft was trying to insinuate that potentially Eric George didn't give proper legal advice or do his due diligence. And when Bredehoft was questioning him, he was answering a lot. Well, honestly, a lot of the times he was just like, oh, I don't remember. A lot of times he just wouldn't answer at all. But I did notice that when Bredehoft was questioning him, his lawyer didn't really interrupt much, if at all. But when Mr. Chu was questioning him, both Bredehoft and his lawyer would interrupt all the time. Like, he never got to really finish any questions. They would say object, 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 instructed not to answer, attorney-client privilege. So I guess that would call into question how much of a waiver was there really, because the judge did agree that there was a waiver of attorney-client privilege. So I guess the debate will be, was it just a waiver of that specific op-ed, or was it a general waiver? So I think that would probably be up to the judge. Mr. Chu did say during the deposition that they will be back here again, meaning that he's gonna try to apply to the court to have it done again, or maybe I would think in order to compel him to answer the certain questions. But definitely he said straight up that he intends to question Eric George again, and he didn't think that it was right, because essentially he got nothing out of that. To be honest, it was kind of a big waste of time because he got no discovery out of it whatsoever. He either said he didn't know or he just didn't answer. So it's not useful at all. They're playing dirty, and similar to what has been going on, they're gonna have to go back to court again, and I'm sure the judge is gonna be irritated as fuck, because like, really, do you need a fucking babysitter? Like, what the fuck? Just, so I'm sure the judge won't be too impressed about that. And I noticed that Bredehoft made a point to say, oh, you're being very aggressive or something, and he's just to get that onto the record. I think that he just wasn't answering what he was supposed to at all, or just anything. He wasn't giving anything for them to work up off of. So I definitely could feel the tension between Bredehoft and Chu. There was a lot of fighting and arguments, and you could just feel the tension, honestly. I feel like they fucking hate each other's guts. That's the vibe that I got. But anyway, that email was probably the biggest red flag, the biggest thing that stuck out to me. The email referring to the lie where he was talking to Amber Heard. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to kind of put two and two together there. So I'm very interested to see if the judge will let him do more discovery or what. But that would certainly, I would think, pique the judge's curiosity as to what the lie was. And if it does come out that Amber Heard was lying about all this, like confirmed 100%, everyone knows it's out there, she's exposed, if that happens and it's in writing, like maybe that's actually why, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe that's actually why Bretta Hoff brought that up as like a reminder, like you're gonna go down with her. Like, I don't know, that's just my opinion. In which case, then potentially have a case to go after him, because if he knew that it was a lie, he should have instructed her to stay 10 feet the fuck away from this op-ed or whatever, because it's like, you got away, like count your blessings, like leave it alone, you know? Like that would have been the right counsel to give, I think, had he known that she was lying, to be like, girl, no, you're lucky you got away with it, you know, quit while you're ahead, don't go there. But if he was giving her advice that, oh, this should be fine, knowing full well that she was lying, that could be a problem. And maybe, yeah, he did give her bad advice, but still, that doesn't mean that she's not going to be liable. But in, like, say if she does lose, she might have a case to go after him, maybe. I don't know. That's just what I'm trying to piece together of what their logic could be. Especially because if it's a lie, then it is defamation any way you slice it. If he knew that it was a lie, then that's defamation, and he should have advised, just drop it, leave it, don't do it. That's just kind of my brainstorming happening here. I need to know more about that email though, and definitely he was holding back a lot. So hopefully the judge allows Eric George to be deposed again, hopefully even to get further discovery. Hopefully that means a full waiver of attorney-client privilege, and he has to discuss everything. We'll see, but I definitely don't think this is the last that we've seen of Eric George yet. So, woo! This ought to be interesting. Like, most people watching here have already made up your mind. Your team Johnny, maybe even your team Amber, I don't know. But we've already made up our mind. The judge might not. This might lean the scales one way or another, or at least make her more likely to delve in deeper, if that makes sense. So, interesting indeed. So, the hearing for the motion to dismiss, which I personally don't think it's gonna get dismissed, but who knows? That's gonna happen in June, I believe. Lots of things have been leaking lately, so we'll see. But yeah, I guess that's it for this video. Comment down below what you think. Do you think this is kind of a smoking gun, or where do you think this is gonna go? Comment down below your thoughts, let me know what you think, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. And thank you guys so much for watching. See you later. Bye.